Okay, so what are we here for today, sir?
Well, so apparently, you've got a Boots Bad Builds based on the Soulbeast, who I'm really, probably of all the new Elite specs, I'm least familiar with, just because there's so much going on with the pets and stuff.
Yeah, there's a
but
lot.
I'll try to
going
keep
on with
up.
pets. So with Soulbeast, I did an interesting thing. I did something that probably I've done in the past for other Boots Bad builds, and I've concentrated on a single trait and tried to build around it.
Ooh, like, okay, these are my favorites, really. These ones where you go like crazy into one thing.
Yeah, and in this case, well, Soulbeast, so just to give you a quick rundown of Soulbeast, obviously now you could use the F5 ability to merge with your pet, and you don't have your pet anymore. Instead, you have 3 new skills, and that all changes depending on what kind of pet you have, what family it's in, etc. And they're on different cooldown from your normal pet abilities. There's a ton of pets obviously already in the game, and so there are a lot of different new skills you could put on. It sort of gets a little bit homogenized though, because 2 of the 3 new skills you get are dependent on the family of pet and what type of pet it is. Mm-hmm. Actually, all of them are technically.
The through line here is there's a load to Soulbeast. What could you possibly have triple, doubled down on, or whatever? What is it that struck you about this?
Well, there were 2 traits. There were 2 traits that I wanted to build around, and I chose this one first.
Okay, so you're not building around a specific pet or rune or something.
No,
it's one of their traits.
I'm using the pets and I'm using the skills, etc., to build around a trait.
Okay.
And I guess in truth, it's not the most powerful trait in the world, but it is an interesting one.
All right. Okay.
And
I'm liking the sound of it so far.
And that trait is in Soulbeast the master trait, Predator's Cunning.
Okay. So Predator's Cunning. When you apply poison, this is a bit like one of the Renegade things, right? So when you apply poison to a foe, you also steal health from them.
That's right.
And so, like all life stealing, it does scale, but terribly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's unblockable as well. That's kind of curious.
Uh-huh.
But there's the interesting thing that struck me about this is there's no ICD on this.
There is no ICD, so obviously this is something I always enjoy.
What did the numbers say for you? We're in a low-level map, so I don't really have a good idea right now.
So right now the numbers obviously in a low-level map are very low. It's 16 and 15. In reality, it's about 170, 170.
Okay, all right.
And no matter how much power you have, it only gets up to like 180. And no matter how much healing you have, it only gets up to like 180. So
are you saying there's a hard cap?
No. I'm saying that the scaling is terrible.
Yeah, it's like 0.0025% or something awful. It's like really bad.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons I think this build, this trait could be so much better if the scaling was better. Since it doesn't scale well off of power and it doesn't scale well off of healing, I didn't feel like I really needed those 2 things that much in this build.
Okay.
So I wanted to go full Trailblazers. Unfortunately, to get full Trailblazers for this build, I would have had to spend 500 gold for exotic Trailblazers, because that Maguma Lily is 14 gold each.
What's the build you've spent most on? Probably that NG one, right? You spent a lot on like
leadership
leadership
runes.
runes.
I spent a lot of time on that. I spent a lot of time on that because you can't buy those leadership runes otherwise. But yes, I spent a lot of time on that. But this I would have had to spend too much time. So I just instead transferred over for the same condition duration. I transferred over my Valkyrie Ascended amulets and stuff.
So I like the sound of what you're doing here, by the way. All World versus Worlders will know Trailblazers on roaming builds, on dueling builds. It's just so horrendously infuriating.
Yeah, it's tanky,
I love Trailblazers.
It's got some nice condition damage and duration. It's like Dire, but better.
Yeah, well, actually, it depends as well on your health pools. I ended up running a lot of Dire on one of my Mesmer builds, and it was just unstoppable.
Yeah, well, it depends on how much condition damage you really want. So
yes, exactly.
But actually, and for all these trinkets would have to be Trailblazer if I was doing this properly. And for my armor, it's a mix of Dire and Trailblazer to get. Okay. So it gets me up to. And then finally, actually, for to really go in full on for the expertise, I have Giver's weapons.
Oh, you really min-maxed this then.
Yeah, I did. So I ended up with. It doesn't show it here because we're in a different place, but I ended up with not 80% condition duration. And then two of the traits each give 10% condition duration in certain circumstances, so it would go to 100 in those circumstances.
Okay, but tell me gear-wise your runes and sigils then.
Right, so I have 2 possible rune selections.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I guess you're going for like poisony runes. This is like, there's a lot of weird runes that people wouldn't think of, right? That you could be running here now.
Yeah, exactly. So one of them, the one I'm probably going to use most often, actually maybe not. It's hard to say. Anyway, one of them is Runes of the Nightmare.
Okay, Nightmare runes, standard, nice.
Standard. That gives you 15% condition duration, a lot of condition damage, and when you use an elite skill, you deliver an attack that blinds enemies and transfers the condition. Now that doesn't matter so much now, but there's something later on I'm going to show you that makes it kind of interesting.
Oh, okay.
The other rune choice that I had in mind is Superior Rune of Radasum.
Yes, good Ratasum. I was on the edge of my seat there. I was like, please say Ratasum.
Yes.
Hell yes. So why Ratasum, Boots?
Well, Radasum doesn't give you condition damage, but it does give you poison duration and weakness duration. A lot of poison duration. But the most important thing is on a 90-second cooldown, basically when you're half the time you're struck, you summon a radiation field.
Oh, the radiation field, dude! If the cooldown on that field was a little bit different, maybe 60 instead of 90.
Yeah, that would be
I think
great.
You'd see it a lot because that field, all right, it's
10
not
seconds.
just. It lasts a long time over a big area.
Yeah.
And it's not just poison, which is oh man, that sounds really cool. But also it's weakness too. And when we're talking about like these kind of like very sustainy builds and things, in fact, even on some glass builds, I've enjoyed playing around with it before in PvP. Just because the weakness is so crazy. Weakness hits flat damage, cuts down on flat damage incoming on you so much.
Now,
so if you have 5 targets in that field, then are you life stealing from 5 people every second?
That is correct.
What? That is cool.
Yes.
Please tell me you've got some footage of that.
I will have some footage of that, and it's really cool also because this trait in particular, the damage that you do to people with it. You know how with a flamethrower, you know how
yes.
when you do the flamethrower auto attack, the little damage ticks stack, and just get bigger numbers.
And they roll up. Oh, does that trait work the same way?
The trait works the same way. So,
that's nice.
I know. So sometimes you could like actually, instead of seeing like little poison ticks flying all over the place, you actually see this number ramp up and ramp up and ramp up and ramp up.
So if it does, how much do you say it does regularly at level 80? 170, 170, right?
Yeah.
So you're on your screen, you'll see 170, 340, and up and up and up and up.
Exactly, but there's some other
nice.
there's some other skills that do packages of a poison, like 3 poison at a time, for example, or 2 poison at a time.
Oh, and that will spike it as well.
That'll spike it not by 170. It would be 340 or 5.
Oh, I like the idea of juggling it to see how, a bit like when you're a mesmer on a greatsword, autoing just permanently to see it keep rising. I like the idea of just seeing how like consistently you can keep the poison packets going out.
So that's why, because of that thing, because of fields hitting multiple enemies at the same time, this is a pretty decent open world build, and possibly
because that's all healing too. You know from those numbers.
Exactly. So you could be pretty damn tanky standing in the midst of a lot of people taking this poison damage.
It's a bit like Reaper in that it scales better the more targets that are around, I suppose.
Exactly. The sigils on my weapons are Malice for more condition duration to get there, and Superior Sigil of Blight, which is a new sigil.
Yeah, I've never played with the Sigil of Blight. In fact, I forgot it existed until very recently.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the Sigil of Doom, only not as bad.
You have a high chance on a crit. So you're relying on crits for this?
Yeah, to do an area poison attack. It's a very low duration poison, but it's an area poison attack, so it can hit 5 people. So let's get back to the traits then. For Soulbeast, like I said, Master is Predator's Cunning. The minor is Unstoppable Union.
Okay, Adept, you mean?
Yes, Adept, I always say that.
Alright.
Okay. Unstoppable Union, which basically when you go into your beast mode, you break stun, and also your attacks are unblockable.
Dude, this trait looks obscene to me.
It's very
good.
Like,
stupidly, grossly, horrendously horrible. I wish this existed. Like when I was doing a lot of Heart of Thorns PvP and there were just dragon hunters everywhere. Like, honestly, look at this thing. Yeah. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's good, except maybe I've just not been noticing it properly, but I think it's weird. Like I said, there's a lot of weird beast mode stuff. So I think it's weird in that when you press F5, you don't break stun right away.
Oh, it's only when the pet spirit hits you.
Exactly. So it takes a little while for the pet spirit to get to you, and then you break stun. So I don't know.
Yeah, like if I do it with my pig over there, Now is when I stun break.
That's the way I understand it. That's the way I've noticed it happening. So I hope maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe I think it's intentional. It's just, you know what I mean. It's a little weird that a stun break is such a slow activation.
Yeah, that is odd. That is odd.
But yeah, attacks are unblockable is fantastic.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah. So, and then finally, oppressive superiority, I already talked about. That's the duration increase for the thing. So, and then also, we have wilderness survival.
Right, yeah, so, well, I'm not really that great with Ranger. Where do you get... Is this all about getting more poison or rounding out?
Yeah, so like I said, the traits aren't that important, but the traits are all built around getting more poison.
Okay, so talk me through, what did you say? Wilderness survival?
Wilderness survival.
Okay.
Wilderness survival, the Grandmaster, you get Poison Master.
Obviously, of course you do.
Of course you do. 25% damage increase on poison, and after swapping pets, your pet's first attack will inflict 2 stacks of poison.
Let me ask then, does the pet get Predator's Cunning?
Yes.
It does, really?
It does.
The wording
certain things about it do, not everything.
Okay.
So I'll have to go through some of that with you. I haven't found out every little quirk about the pets and
this is the thing about Soulbeast, right? It's just like ridiculous. Like,
yeah.
It's so weird and fiddly. Some of it's intuitive, some's not.
Exactly. It's very weird and fiddly. I don't know if at some point it's all going to get standardized properly, but it's right now it's weird and fiddly. Okay. And then we get refined toxins for your master. And that's 5-second cooldown thing. When you're above 75% health, your pet and you both inflict poison on your strikes.
That's nice.
Yeah.
On a 5-second ICD, but still, that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. And then finally, Taste of Danger, more expertise and more vitality.
Do you know what, as well? I don't know whether you really looked at it, but I really enjoyed this when they did the update. Soften the Fall. I love just being able to drop a muddy terrain whenever the hell I like now by popping my heal skill.
That's a good point. Yeah, and I think that kind of plays into some other aspect of the build I want to talk about. But yes, that would be a nice little addition too. If you don't really care about your full 100% condition duration,
Yeah.
Soften the Fall is a great option.
I mean, what I just mentioned doesn't really have any synergy with.
No, not real
rest of
synergy,
the
but
theme.
I'll tell you why it does have synergy that you're not quite understanding yet.
Okay. Well, I guess it's about holding people in poison fields. But...
Yes. Okay. So then finally we got Skirmishing.
All right, which is, you know, your classic Condi line when we think of Ranger.
Mm-hmm. And in Skirmishing, we go for the Adept Trapper's Expertise.
Okay, Trapper's Expertise.
So the duration of the conditions and boons on your traps are increased by 60%, and that's over the base duration.
That buffs the Soften the Fall heal skill then, as well.
Yes, exactly.
That's interesting. So you're not going with Sharp...
No, Soften the Fall is not a trap, it's survival.
Oh, muddy terrain is a survival, right? Of course it is. That's, but you're not going for sharpened edges, I guess, because you're not confident in your crit levels?
No, you don't have very many crits.
Right, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I like that.
But you do still do a decent amount of bleeding with certain other things. So you will go for Hidden Barbs as your major trait.
Okay, so bleeding is now more dangerous.
33%. And then finally, Light on your feet.
Okay. This is always a tricky one for me between Quick Draw, but Light on your feet. So
Quick Draw is very, very strong ability. So I wouldn't be opposed to taking that at all.
Is there any like poison-based thing you can Quick Draw? I mean, I think
yes,
one.
Of course. Yeah. So on short bow, you've got.
Not Axe 2. Yeah,
short bow 2 is a poison-based thing you can do. But the issue is that Light on your feet buffs short bow as well. It makes your bow skills pierce. So think of those 5 poison arrows piercing.
Oh, nice. Okay, so Light on your feet. So everyone knows your damage and Condi damage are increased after you dodge, which is already nice. But short bows pierce and get recharge reduction. All right. So Boots, show people your short bow. Demonstrate this on these mower over here. This is cool.
Yeah.
What you're about to say.
So short bow skills now pierce, which means like let's say I gather up all these moas. And this Moa too, and this Moa too. I hope I don't kill them.
Spider's already wreaking havoc there.
Oh, I'll put him on passive. Passive. Come on, Moas.
I like it.
Oh, they're running away. Oh well. Okay.
He's scared because you've almost killed him. There we go. He's coming in now. So the 2 is a fan that puts poison out on every strike, right?
That's right.
Is that the 2?
That's the 2. And
now that it pierces...
It pierced all of them. They all got 4 stacks of poison. They could get 5 if I angled it properly. And that means they each take the packages of lifesteal as well.
Oh man, so you like heal on the... That's cool. I really like that.
Yeah, you could do... It's targets per arrow 5. So you could do 25.
So 5 times 5, so 25 packets of Predator's Cunning, in theory.
In theory, on a 6.5 second cooldown, you could heal... What is it? 170 times 25, so 25.
I'm on a calculator right now. 170 times 25. So you could heal for 4,250 health just by pressing that skill 2.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, you're not gonna have that many targets.
I know, but I
time.
like this. I like stuff with like crazy potential, right? Like even if it's not realistic.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, go ahead. No, you're supposed to be selling it to me. It's supposed to be... I'm going to be the downer in a minute later.
Right, sorry. Okay. Okay, so also you have an extra critical hit chance to when you're attacking from behind or to the side. That helps with your Blight Sigil. And then that's all your traits, basically. So now the...
Lie on your feet does so much stuff these days.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good for short bow. Now... The most important thing about this is your pets and your skills.
Okay.
So why am I an Asura, you might ask?
Oh, that's just twigged. Is it so that you can double radiation field? You've even got a racial synergy in there.
That's right. That's right. So if you have your Radasum runes, you'll get your radiation field, but you get a different second radiation field on a 60-second cooldown as a skill that you can just put down as well. And the cool thing about this radiation field is it's a combo field poison, so all your arrows will get a possible extra poison hit with them.
Oh my god, yes, they will. What's the combo chance on the short bow 2?
Short bow 2 is 0 combo chance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Short bow 1's 20%, but the other 3 are full projectile finishers.
You're guaranteed, so that's nice. Also, we never talked about this. Radiation field is a 10-second lasting pulsing field. 15 seconds. It lasts 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Does the rune one last? So hold on.
Okay, yeah, they're different. They are very different. Okay.
Oh, the rune one is different.
Yes.
But I just want to ask.
The rune one is a 10-second pulsing every 1 second field.
Yeah.
The skill one is a 15-second, pulses 2 poison each 3 seconds, and 1 stack of weakness.
Oh, this is all getting weird now.
Yeah, it's very strange. But an important part about it is that it is an actual combo field. The rune one is not a combo field poison.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I see. All right.
What were you gonna ask?
Oh, well, it was about radiation field and the fact that that's a double poison each pulse. So does that mean you proc Predator's Cunning twice?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. A very strong skill, though, right now is Viper's Nest.
Oh, okay, so we got our traps.
You got your one trap. It's all about that trap. Viper's Nest.
Set a trap that pulses poison on foes. Each tick is 3 poison this time.
Mm-hmm. And it's 3 ticks. So that's 9 poison. Very strong. And it's a combo field poison.
I'm noticing so much unblockable stuff. The radiation field is unblockable. The trait is unblockable. Viper's Nest is unblockable. There's just a lot that's going on that's unblockable.
Yeah. And this, again, it's number of targets 3, so you do a lot of damage with this. And you get a lot of healing with it. Now, for my elite skill, I did not go with One Wolf Pack because I really don't like that internal cooldown. I don't like the internal cooldowns on any of these stances. The one at a half second is very bad because I do take Vulture Stance as my last utility skill because when your targets are below 50% health, you do a strike of poison to them.
So are we doing utilities right now?
We are doing utilities.
Okay, Vulture Stance is cool. This is what I thought of earlier at the start of the video.
Yeah.
I've always liked the design of this because, like, when they're high health, you want to give yourself might, right? Yeah. And when they're low health, you want to keep them on low health. So poison it's like so beautiful. Like it works like clockwork. I love this stance. The sound of this stance.
Now, but the issue is that you have that internal second, the 1/2 second internal cooldown, and it doesn't line up well with a lot of things. So yeah, so the might's nice, the poison's nice. The max poison you could possibly get is like 12 because it's a 6-second stance. Yeah. You could share. I mean, with that trait, you could share it to other people, so that does help, and that is an interesting idea you could play with playing with a group.
Can you share, if you share Vulture Stance with Predator's Cunning, do your allies...
I believe you do get that lifesteal.
Oh, wow. And you get the healing from it, or who's stealing the life in that situation?
That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure.
Whoa, all the possibilities. This Cunning Ranger, this is so weird. Is that interval per target or just global?
I believe it's global.
Oh, that is a shame. That's a real shame. I don't know. The stances have got like some great stuff in them. It just feels like they're too reliant on being shared to even be considerable, and then even under that circumstance, it feels a bit off. Yeah,
I'm still using it because it's an extra bit of poison. I do sometimes want to change over to what's it called, the Muddy Terrain instead.
Yeah.
Because you get that immobilize, that extremely long immobilize now that you have 100% condition duration. And then that lets people have to stick in all of your poison fields.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that also helps with your elite skill that I am using, Entangle, which does that exact thing.
Yeah.
It's 10 seconds, essentially, of immobilize for them to stick in all of your poison fields. And they also take a lot of bleeding. Now, okay, so like I said, though, your condition duration is very important to this build because it helps with that poison, helps with that bleeding. But also, because of your elite skill, your secondary option for one of your utility skills, and the pet you use, or the pets that you use, you are getting 100% immobilization.
And it's fun to play into that.
It's very fun to play into that. So you immobilize people in your fields. If you want to, maybe bring this into World versus World or something, and like try to be as annoying as possible to somebody. You could just immobilize them for days if they don't have the proper condi clear. So I'm talking about Jungle Spider as your pet.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I'm not really familiar. How many pets actually do put poison out? Do the new planty pets have poison on their like hallucination abilities and stuff?
They do not.
There's no poison on that. It's just what, like confusion, I guess?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Confusion, some bleeding, some torment, I think, on something. No poison.
So did you look through every pet in the game when figuring this out?
I did.
Wow, okay. So which spider did you go with and why?
I went with the jungle spider. I'll tell you why. There's a forest spider which actually does more poison because its F2 ability, for the jungle spider, the F2 ability is an immobilize.
Okay.
But for the forest spider, the F2 ability puts 3 stacks of poison on its next 3 attacks.
Oh, I see. Yeah, your next 3 attacks poison your foe.
However, for some reason...
It's actually classed as a venom as well. That's weird.
I know.
It's like a thief.
But for some reason, those poisons do not trigger this trait.
Why? What is this inconsistency?
I don't know.
What's going on?
I don't know. Don't ask
I respect you for noticing and properly looking at that and theory crafting that. You put your work in here.
I know. There are some other things. Okay, so beast mode for the jungle spider is pretty good. Besides that F2 ability that immobilizes, you also have Entangling Web on a 20-second cooldown, which does a 5-second immobilize. I think 6 seconds if you have the proper... Yeah.
I'm sorry, which spider is this again?
Jungle Spider.
Okay.
So it could do a 6-second immobilize at 100% wound duration.
Right.
And then you also have the Prelude Lash, which is the type of pet it is. It's another 3 or 4, I think 4 seconds immobilize on a 25-second cooldown, and it's a pull. And probably most importantly is this Poison Gas. It leaves a 4-second duration field for, I think it's 5 stacks of poison AoE.
Very nice. So to take it back a second, and this is why you were with all this immobilization talk, this is why you were saying soften the fall would be interesting.
Yes, exactly.
Because you got even more immob that you can throw out.
That's right.
Now, and covers, really, as well.
So you want to hear another little weird, intricate thing about Poison Gas?
Oh, do I ever? Yeah, let's do it.
So... on a lot of mobs that are, maybe it's just because I'm an Asura, but on a lot of mobs that are taller than me, if I use poison gas when I'm relatively close to them, or sometimes not even that close to them, instead of putting it at their feet, it goes high into the air and through them and like way behind them.
What? Oh, like, so it arcs and then lands on the ground really far away.
Yeah, so since I'm far away from this guy, it lands
Yeah, I saw
near
that.
it.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, but if I was fighting, I don't know, like let's go over here. There's a...
The skill challenge. I can't pop it.
No, I can't pop it either. Okay. Before. Well, anyway, if we found a big guy to attack...
Here, try this. This mower's like on the ledge above kind of thing.
Okay, so...
I see what you mean, though. That's a shame. I thought you were going to tell me it was going to explode in the air or something. And
look how far it goes
yeah.
way in the back. So you got to be really careful about this. I mean, they got to fix that, I think, because it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's not kind of weird. That's obviously not intentional.
Yeah,
at all,
it like aims for their head or something, and then does something. So
yeah.
So sometimes what I've been doing to deal with that is instead of aiming at something and having my target actually target on them,
you de-target.
I de-target and look at the ground, and yeah, it goes at my feet.
Oh, it's FGS mode. I see. I see.
Okay, so then that's the jungle spider. Very good. It's like the primary.
Could you not, in theory, run? Is there any merit to doing double spider and then?
There is not, and I'll tell you why. Because double spider, beast mode, the cooldowns are the same.
Getting healthy.
It's a shared cooldown for like.
I guess they want you to use lots of different families then, I suppose?
Guess so, yeah. So Prelude Lash, if you have a Prelude Lash on your... By the way, Juvenile Black Widow Spider is identical to Jungle Spider. So you could run that and that. But unfortunately in Beast Mode, if you go Beast Mode, Juvenile Black Widow, then switch, use all its skills, then switch to Jungle Spider, go Beast Mode, they'll all be on cooldown.
Damn, that's a shame. Why did they do that?
I don't know, but that's what they did. So like I said, there's a lot of weird intricacies. Another weird intricacy. So if we talk about instead of that, my other animal is a Morello.
A Morello? Okay, I'm down for Morello action. Morellos are a weird pet.
Yeah, so Morello, the beast mode version of it won't be adding to your poison really, but its non-beast mode version will. And that's because its F2 ability is a 35-second cooldown AoE that does count towards your trait. So these...
I can't even see Morello on my list right now. Can you read out exactly what it does for me?
So Poison Cloud Beast, emit a noxious, it's an F2 ability, emit a noxious cloud that poisons damages foes. It's like a 4-second I think it's a base 4-second poison, I don't know. Anyway, maybe 3-second. And number target 5s, duration 7 seconds, pulses 7.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot of poison from that.
That is a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So you would use this, switch to your Juvenile Spider before going into Beast Mode.
Right.
But honestly, the Beast Mode of a Morello does have some interesting things. Like it gives you a little bit of bleed on his Primal Cry. There's no doubling up also Beast Mode abilities from the Spider to this, so that's good.
Whoa! Did you just notice that? Do you know how that works?
What? What are you talking about?
The Morello, send your Morello over to a mower far away.
Yeah.
And press F2.
Okay.
Okay. So no, don't stand near the mower. Stand quite far away from the mower, but have the Morello walk over to the mower and then press F2.
Okay.
And tell me what you see. This is like weird.
Oh, it came to me.
What is that, Arenanet? This is like a 2012
very strange.
That's so weird, right? Jeez Louise.
Oh my god. Okay, well there you go. That's funny.
We can make use of that as well. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys.
So the beast modes are pretty good though. You got Defy Pain, which is a Defy Pain basically. Take no damage.
I do like that.
Yeah,
I do like that.
And some
That's
regen
good.
on the bite. But there are other pets that give poison, and I could go through a few of them really quickly to let you know why some of them don't work and some of them do.
Yeah, let's do it.
Marsh Drake, it has poison on Insect Swarm, its F2 ability, 5 times number of targets 3, so you'd think it'd be very good.
Yeah, in Ore, in Arai, these guys are really good with it because they drop these ridiculous fields and stuff.
Exactly,
So
but
what's wrong
none
with
of
this,
them actually trigger the ability.
Why? Why?
I don't know.
Why?
They just don't.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Poor
So Marsh
Drake.
Drake is gone. Next you have what do we have?
Oh, I almost feel bad that this is the build right now because this is a showcase of like fiddly, poorly
things,
implemented ranger design here.
I know. I had to go through a lot of stuff to make this build.
This is like not actually build craft. This is working around bug craft.
Yeah. Juvenile Whiptail Devourer.
Oh, okay. He has a bit of poison, does he?
He has poison on his F2 ability, a spray. It shoots 5 barbs over a period of 2.5 seconds. I don't think it hits multiple targets, though. It'll just hit the same target. So it's 5 poison still, though. Unfortunately, again, doesn't trigger the thing.
Why?
So the way I'm thinking it works is if it's a poison delivered directly from a pet, like a skill or an
if
attack.
it transitions through a projectile,
But I think no, like if it's directly a projectile, anything, it's something delivered directly from the pet, it doesn't count towards your trait. But if it's a field created by your pet, it does.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's a shame for poison barbs as well, because what that is, that's shortbow 2, but it's also got the projectile finisher on there, which would be really nice to do through a radiation field, right? That's like Guild Wars 2's combos. Look at that.
I know.
Drop a radiation field, have him do that. That's cool.
I know, but you can do Carry On Devour. Carry On Devour's F2 is a field, so that will work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The field is a little less powerful than the Morello field, but it's on a shorter cooldown. So it's up to you between the two of them, Morello or Carry On Devour.
All right.
Okay. Carry On Devour's normal attack is also very strange. Twin darts. It fires 2 shots from your tail that have a 10% chance to poison.
What? Wow.
So
it's strange.
Very strange. Anyway, so that's all the pets. The heal skill I'm using, Bear Stance, that it has no interaction really. It's just a very strong heal skill.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, also on your short bow, you have Crippling Shot, which is a huge long immobilize if you're behind your target.
Yep.
And for your other weapons, you get your... I'm doing Dagger main hand because it does a good amount of poison as well. If you're in beast mode and you're using your double arc, it's you that does that extra hits of poison, because it's your pets next to attacks inflict poison, but that's you.
Okay, all right, that's nice.
Gets you some quickness. And for the offhand, sometimes I use Axe and sometimes I use Dagger. Dagger has a nice evade and does 2 hits of poison on that. But the Axe has Whirling Defense, which is a whirl combo finisher, and you have a ton of poison fields. So you could do some nice whirl combos.
I don't know whether that's really great advice.
It's not the best advice, but it works. It works. Like
I get the idea. It's nice to have identified that that's a thing you can do.
It is something you can do. I would rather do the arrows in the combo finisher in the combo field, and just stick with the dagger offhand. Anyway, so that's it. That's the build.
I don't think that is it, actually.
Oh.
Where do I get my poison underwater? What underwater pet is best?
Oh, I guess you can
What are my underwater rotations?
Why are you going underwater? You have a skimmer.
Damn, that's very true. Oh,
you could go jellyfish. Jellyfish has poison whirl.
Okay.
Morello, I think, also has a poison maul underwater, which is nice.
Oh, this is good. Look at you flexing your ranger knowledge right here. I like it.
But yeah, so don't go underwater. Just don't do it.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
The advice right there.
Yeah. You know that old song from that Quaggan that goes swimming, swimming, swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be updated to skimming, skimming, skimming.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Have you seen anybody using your pocket raptor joke? At all?
No, nobody used the pocket raptor joke. You were supposed to. I think
not as good as we think. Maybe it's not as good as we think.
Oh well. So I don't know, man. I think it's time for you to do a little old why it's bad.
Okay. So I think that this is really cool. I like it, but I think that there is a fundamental issue at stake here, and that's that it's in order to get this. If Predator's Cunning was not lifesteal, but rather something that compounded upon condition damage, it could have like a true kind of leaning on it.
Yeah.
But I think what you're seeing here is kind of a weird thing where you're building very heavily into one kind of condition that if there's any condi in the game you don't want to overstack on, it's poison. Because poison is like if you extra stack confusion or torment or anything else, you know, you get that extra, but the bonus thing on it, right? Like you get something.
I mean,
you get something extra out of it.
Like what? Bleeding, torment. It's all just damage.
No, I know, but like the fact that poison is slightly less accessible than bleed, right? Because it's got that extra thing on top of bleed, which is the reduced healing.
Yeah, so
like
you
it's
don't
not
really
the
need
most
to
budget
stack.
condi.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's not. Yeah, it's not the most. And so like, unfortunately, you lose out like on the efficiency on that, right? Like,
I guess.
While bleeding, because it is all about damage, and burning is all about damage. Like it, you know, there's not such a sense of overstacking.
Yeah,
on it.
yeah, you're not going to be doing a huge amount of damage because you're stacking poison with this build.
Yeah, and so that is quite unfortunate. I also wonder how much it is reliant on fields and people staying in the fields in terms of like its sustain angle. So like I really want to know how good, like what really excites me about Predator's Cunning is probably not the damage it does. Bypassing defenses and stuff as it will. It's not that 4,000 damage, it's the 4,000 healing.
Yeah.
This is what I'm actually really interested in. And I'd like to believe it can be really strong, but I kind of question whether it's too slow of a roll and whether it asks for too extreme of a scenario in order to really shine. Like where this really shines, being massively outnumbered and lots of fresh targets and stuff, where realistically in the game is that coming in on us?
Yeah, I mean, definitely open world, but that's about it.
I wonder about a friggin' world versus world, like throwing poison fields against Zergs and stuff in world versus world. Just see.
There is a lot of Conti clear though in world versus world.
That's true, but I mean for the Predator's Cunning healing thing, and the thing is like that's always very well, what is Soulbeast doing in world versus world at the moment?
Nothing.
I guess it's kind of the thing. The other thing is as well is Soulbeast as well that's at odds with itself here. Is Soulbeast is, as far as I can see, quite power influenced. I don't know. It also seems like it's got its Condi application and avenues there. But I wonder whether also that because like look at your miners, right? Like look at every single Soulbeast miner, and tell me which one of them genuinely benefits you here. Oh, I guess twice as vicious kind of does. And I guess even the original one does. Yeah. The middle one sort of doesn't. So
like, I mean, it's possible. It's very possible that this trait was not meant to be used this way. And this trait was actually meant for a power build to get extra benefit from, like, random poison that it might be generating.
But I feel like this trait is boring unless you go as crazy deep as you did
That's
here.
Exactly, yeah.
You know? I feel like you have to do this to extract that kind of joy out of it. There's the other stuff as well, like, I bet it's not got a very good curve to it because it is reliant on some pretty hefty cooldowns, right, in terms of the radiation fields at least, and off of your rune, the radiation field that's there.
Yeah.
And I'm also curious about the amount of emotes. Now, if we are going to take it into more competitive formats, I think you can't you don't have the luxury of not having Signet of Stone. I've made that criticism of previous Ranger builds before.
Yeah, like
the
I mean,
Morello really is
if
nice.
I'm going to
because
sacrifice anything, though, I would definitely sacrifice the Vulture Stance for Signet of Stone.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's another unfortunate thing, because there's a good synergy there. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that it's bad as long as it's got Vulture Stance on there. Because, again, the stances feel like they're more of a thing where you have to share it rather than anything else.
Except for the heal skill. The heal skill is just good.
Yeah. The bear stance heal skill?
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable thing to say as well. And I think that there are some other swaps that you can make, but in terms of the pressure that this has, you've also got the problem where it's all stacking so much poison and then a cleanse on the poison stack. I've never in my history of Guild Wars 2 seen a really ridiculous poison stack and really, you know, be the devastating thing that it can be. I mean, I remember you did a thief build that had a very high poison stack as well, right?
Oh yeah, that
with
was
the the Daredevil. Sorry, we should call it the actual specific.
Yeah, but the good. I mean, the reason why that was effective is because it covered the poison with a ton of other.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's kind of situational to get your covers in on this. And I don't think you've got a particularly convincing off swap beyond your short bow either. I do like short bow ranger stuff though, and I regret that it's sort of fallen aside, because for a while I kind of felt like in some formats that was all they really had. For a long time, pew pew longbow was not something you ever saw.
Yeah.
And it was all short bow, and everyone was sick of it. And I feel like it's kind of a reverse of that now.
A little bit. Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, I think something that if you're not just doing open world PvE. And you want to try to do stuff in World vs. World or even PvP, obviously you're not going to have your radiation field in PvP. Something good about this build, though, is the fact that it does pump out a lot of weakness as well as the poison. A lot of weakness and a lot of immobilization. So you can definitely annoy some people with this build.
My main fear as to why this is bad is I'm not convinced by the pressure. So that's what I'd like to see in the footage on this. I'd like to see what pressure it can put on people. And how frequent, because it's got these amazing heights, but how regularly do those amazing heights come? That's the question.
I mean, well, in the footage, obviously it's going to come all the time because I'm clipping it.
Hell yeah, this is it. This is it. But yeah, I'm excited by a build like this though.
Yeah.
And I think if those little areas there that we've just talked about were addressed, it could do a lot better as well. And especially like all the incongruences with the pet system. I think if those were ironed out, that would be nice also.
I think all of this is to say that obviously Asuras were meant to be rangers.
Yeah, because this is another Asura synergy. Yeah.
You got your Daisy McDaserson Daze build for ranger, and now you got your Poisey McPoiserson Poison build for ranger.
Yeah, I wonder what happens when like a thief shares the poison venom onto you as well.
I think it counts as his stacks of poison, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, there's all those little interactions I think that could be interesting.
Yeah.
And what if he gives your pet the venom, and then the pet who's inflicted the pet, the thief, or you?
I think it's still
all three.
But yeah, good questions. Something that someone else is going to explore, I'm sure. I'm done.
That's nice. I like it. This was a cool bad build, I think.
I think so too. Thanks for joining me, man. I'll see you next time.
And doubtless a bad build. Let's be real. I mean, you're not gonna. This isn't gonna be in the raids.
This is a true bad build, true to form. I think I'm gonna do thief next, man. I think I got something cooking for thief.
I did see just before this video. Okay, on my Twitter timeline here, I have a tweet from a guy called World of Enders that says, "Yes, I think I have a terrible, awful, amazing, stupid, bad Deadeye. I just have to gear it up too much gold."
Yeah.
And that was about an hour ago you tweeted that.
Yeah.
And I did see that.
And now I'm off to work on it.
I'm curious.
Yeah. So see you next time.
All right. Well, I'll be glad to come and poo on your creations.
Thanks so much. I love that. It's great.
Yay.
Bye, everybody. So I got to come back with my character. I forgot to tell you something why we're recording this in Brisbane Wildland. It is probably the coolest part about this build, this new thing that I found out. Are you ready?
What, specifically because of this map?
Specifically because of this one place, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So there's an item.
Oh, an environmental weapon.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, hold on a second.
Oh, the Hylic blowgun and stuff. What about this?
Oh,
there's all kinds of poison inflicting things.
Well, that's actually a good idea, actually. But yeah, there's a lot of poison inflicting things you could use. But I'm just going to talk about one, which I'm talking about because it really makes this a bad idea. And so you might be wondering why I used as one of the ideas Runes of the Nightmare besides the condition duration.
Yeah.
So the elite use gives you an attack that transfers one condition.
Right.
And also blinds. And the reason why transferring one condition is pretty good.
Oh my god, you're going to poison the hell out of yourself?
I'm poisoning the hell out of myself. So here in Brisbane Wildland, there is a heart quest.
Okay. Wow, this is good. Whatever this is, I love it.
So you're going to hate it. You're going to hate it. So there's a heart quest here in Hidden Lake that you collect a little item called Cluster of Baneberries from a Baneberry vine.
Okay.
Here I got 32 of them.
Right, I'm watching.
And then when you double click it, you consume it. And
this is going to be the truly broken bit.
It gives you a stack.
Doesn't last long.
It gives you a stack of poison. 5 seconds of poison. I don't currently have any poison duration on me, so it could be 10 seconds of poison.
Oh, okay, all right.
But you could spam it.
Can you do an auto clicker? Oh, dude, this is getting nerfed. You should not have put this in the video. This is
Wait a second, it's not getting nerfed. Don't worry, it's not getting nerfed. So you could do an auto clicker. Are you hitting
yourself with the trait?
You're hitting yourself with the trait, yeah. So you could do an auto clicker.
So you're damaging and healing it instantly.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Really?
But that's not okay. Hold on a second, though. Hold on. So you could do an auto clicker if you want to. I think maybe that's illegal, but try it out. I don't know. Maybe do it. So you can instantly collect as many blameberries as you can, collect them all, instantly eat all of them, get a ton of poison on yourself, and then use your elite skill to transfer it to your target.
Yeah, I see. And then bomb them.
And so, yes. Now, I will tell you why it's bad. Are you ready?
Man, this just makes me realize if Necro had this...
I know.
And it combined it with Epi, that would be crazy.
Okay, could you just hold on 1 second before
Okay,
you
go
come
on.
up with all these great ideas. I had all these great ideas, but I'll tell you why it all fails.
Why?
Because these Baneberry vines disappear when you complete the heart quest.
Oh, really?
Yes, so you could only ever have 33 cluster of Baneberries.
Oh, because it gives you progress as you pick them up.
Exactly.
Are they soulbound?
They are soulbound.
Okay.
So the trick to this build now is to make a ranger, level it to 80, collect 33, which is the max.
It's like resource management, the likes of which Guild Wars 2 has never had before.
Collect 33 Baneberries, make this build, then delete the character once you've used all your Baneberries.
Yeah, and then do it again, yeah. I mean, only 33. I was imagining like 100 stacks of poison and blasting someone with that.
33 is nothing to scoff at. Like, if you really want to kill somebody, you got...
Oh, but the applications, though, that would work in fractals, so you could, like, one-shot a fractal boss.
That's right.
If
You got 33... The auto-clicker means that 10 seconds of poison, whatever, who cares? But what's 33 times 170?
Christ, I don't know. Let's see.
It's probably like 5,000 something.
33 times 170. Yeah, 5,610.
Yeah, so that's a nice 5,610 burst right there.
You could do other things as well, though. You could go to Twilight Arbor, deliberately stand next to those poison plant bloom thingies.
Oh my god.
Stack a ton of poison and then pop the elite.
Yeah,
and
put on
use
resistance
that to spike the worm or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't last long enough. Anywhere that there's lots of poison, where can you see? Can you imagine if you know in Flashpoint at Primordus's head, where you can put resistance on, glide over to him and get hundreds of burn stacks.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was just poison instead, or there was a variant of that was poison instead.
That'd be
That's
pretty
really
great.
curious. And yeah, Hylic blowguns and stuff. I think
Hylic
that's all really
blowguns.
interesting.
Yeah, so that's something else you could work with. Anyway, so that's it. We're gonna go back. Like, I don't know if I'm inserting this within the build or as tacked on to the end, but there you go.
Oh, nice. Take on me, take on me, take me on, take on me. I'll be gone in a day or two.
All right, we're good.
Enjoy the clipping.
We're gonna put that on. I think that's gonna be
at the end. If that's going anywhere in that video, that's going at the end,
all right.
so that the least amount of people see it possible.
Okay. Hey, hold on a second. Are you saying people leave my video before the end?
Dude, I'm saying that's just how YouTube works. All right, I'm just reading the room here.
All right.